where you're going to be in 10 years? What kind of player you're going to be?
10 years, I want to be, known as a true professional, a guy that played the game the right way. Hopefully still in the league and still effective in the league. There's not many people that last in double-digit years, so it starts now and building a foundation for later on down the road.
The baby-faced kid from North Carolina is taking the NBA by storm.
Oh, Steph Curry! What a play! Oh, my goodness. How about the rookie? He is my favorite player to watch in the NBA. He is a legitimate, bona fide superstar in this league.
Curry splits the defense behind the back. Fires a three. Oh, he puts it in. Steps back, crossover, fires away. Wow! The Golden State Warriors are the 2015 NBA champions. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! The Golden State Warriors champions once again. Back-to-back titles, 3 in 4 years. Here's Curry for the record. It's good! The all-time three-point king in the NBA! The 2022 Bill Russell NBA Finals MVP award goes to Stephen Curry. This is extraordinary. Have you ever seen anything like it?
Hello, everybody. Bob Fitzgerald alongside Jim Barnett and Jim. LeBron James.
The Golden State Warriors before Stephen Curry and the LA Clippers were in the same class. Like, they were the butt of every NBA joke. They were a laughingstock.
The Warriors have made the playoffs just once in their last 18 years, which is incredible. It's the longest current NBA playoff run.
Well, the Golden State Warriors were horrible for a long period of time.
Shot clock at 6, and Peter is rejected.
Vince Carter, look out. Oh, he threw the body and flipped it in.
Been a fan for longer than I care to admit, man. More than 3 decades. There was a period of time where I used to call them the $10 baller seats. You could get into any game for $10, and then not only could you get in, but because there was nobody in the fucking arena, you could sneak down, and as long as you kept it cool, you didn't go too big with your celebrations, you could get to within 3-4 rows of the floor and watch a full half of NBA basketball for 10 beats.
I think the Warriors were mostly in a dark place before Steph had arrived. They were essentially the Charlotte Hornets of the NBA back then.
And this is a team that for decades was just, a joke.
The success of any team in professional sports, team sport, is who do you draft, who do you trade for, who do you get in free agency? It's about the players. You got to get the right players.
Well, what you see right here is Stephen Curry, one of the premier shooters in all of the country.
Never touched the rim. Curry with the three. Stephen Curry lights it up. LeBron's impressed with what he sees.
I do remember very vividly, and I think a lot of people did remember very vividly, Steph at Davidson and what he did in that March Madness run.
I, like everyone else, watched his run at Davidson. I also, like everyone else, thought, oh man, this dude is really small. Like, he's almost my height. He's like only a couple inches taller than me. He might be even skinnier than I am. How is this dude going to be an NBA player, right?
In terms of speculation, there's no argument that Steph Curry's the best shooter available in this draft. And the question is, can he make the transition to the point guard spot? Is he going to be strong enough against NBA defenders over the course of an 82-game schedule?
I kind of heard the same stuff outside going into the NBA. I'm too small, not athletic enough, can't play defense, not strong enough.
The summer of 2009. A moment in time that would be a crossroad in the destiny of an individual and a franchise. Having made a name for himself over his historic college career, Stephen Curry was looking to emerge from the shadow of his NBA father, hungry for the opportunity to prove he belonged on the game's biggest stage. On the West Coast, the Golden State Warriors were desperate for relevance. The passionate fan base had been left searching for any reason for optimism, starved from excitement due to a string of failed draft picks by the team's front office.
And the Warriors had this like long run where even though they were bad every year, it just became a thing where you knew they were going to draft someone and you had no hope that it was going to work out because draft picks just never worked out for the Golden State Warriors.
Draft day used to be the only day we could look forward to. You know, we weren't going to make the playoffs, and so our only shot at turning things around were whatever player it was that we actually landed on that day.
That draft process is wild. Like there's some new narrative every day.
Yeah.
There's some new guarantee on the draft board. There's some trade rumor. Like every day it was something different.
I mean, the NBA is such a small world. Steve Kerr was the GM of Phoenix at the time. And part of the conversation leading up to the draft was, I guess Golden State didn't think I was going to be around at 7, and whoever they drafted was going to be part of some trade to get Amari to Golden State.
Like I talked to Mike D'Antoni, who was the coach of the Knicks at the time. They had Gallinari, who was their the young prospect, and the whole conversation was like, "Oh, we put you Gallinari, David Lee was there. D'Antoni put you in all the right positions, successful. I could be like Nash. I could be like Nash 2.0 when he was in Phoenix and all that type of stuff. So that was a conversation.
I want to thank my guys over at Courtyard for sponsoring this video. This is genuinely one of my favorite sponsors I've ever had. I grew up passionate about sports card collecting from a young age. And I'm telling you right now, if you miss opening packs as a kid, Courtyard is basically that feeling rebuilt for right now. Courtyard is pioneering the next generation of commerce through gamified shopping. It's a marketplace where collectors can open packs, own real physical collectibles, and trade them digitally while those items are safely stored in Courtyard's vault. Let's open a pack and see how it works. Alright, so we're here about to do our first pack opening for Courtyard. So we've got a Basketball Master pack here. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we have the Ant-Man himself, an Anthony Edwards rookie card here. Currently projected, if you read down here, it gives you an automatic buyback offer. So Courtyard will offer you a price to immediately buy the purchase back or buy the card back. Right now, the buyback offer is $103. So that's just one example of how cool it is, this whole experience of like the thrill you get of opening a pack. Here it is right here in the flesh. So now I've got my guy Anthony Edwards in my collection as we speak. I'm able to track the current odds of the card and look at other offers from people who might be willing to buy or trade the item. Every pack shows real-time odds. And if what you pull isn't for you, you can sell it back instantly with their guaranteed buyback offer. Or you can keep it to yourself, trade it, vault it, or even have it shipped right to your doorstep. Sports cards and memorabilia, Pokemon, watches, coins, soon even sneakers. If you collect, Courtyard is made for you. Check out the link in the description or scan the QR and use code TRICE15 at checkout for 15% off your order. I highly recommend you check them out at courtyard.io and go start your collection today.
Let's do this.
Knock 'em dead.
Yes, sir. All right, I just officially got butterflies. I'm out of my element now. I don't know what to do with myself. This is crazy. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. I'll be all right though, right?
Yeah.
What's going down?
Worst that could happen is you end up in the NBA, right?
That's true. This is great. Great way to put it. It's kind of funny thinking back. I wanted to go to New York, and thought I was going to New York. I was in the draft in the green room, like, get to the 8th spot. New York could get me. I'm about to practice walking up a couple times.
Blake goes 1, Sheem to beat, James Harden, Tyreek Evans, and then it's number 5, and Minnesota's got the 2 picks in a row. So I'm like, all right, just get through these 2. They got 2 picks in a row, and then it's guaranteed. Like, I didn't really know. I talked to Golden State like that. It's gonna be number 8. So they went Rubio and Johnny Flynn. So I'm like, all right, this is it.
This is crazy. Golden State is on the clock with the number 7 pick.
Who else is Golden State's point guard?
With the 7th pick in the 2009 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select Stephen Curry from Davidson College.
The 6'3" junior guard out of Davidson, quite simply, is the best shooter in the draft.
When he first fell into our laps, nobody here, certainly not me, understood the basketball luck that we had just inherited.
He's going to have to improve his decision-making a little bit with the ball in his hands, and his shot selection has got to get a little bit better.
I think when the Warriors had drafted Steph, it was, oh, this kid is really cool. He can score a lot, but is he going to make it in the NBA?
When you have like close to 40 years of just utter mediocrity, you also had pessimism. So when Stephen Curry was drafted, it's not like the fan base had any clue what was coming. Like, you know, it wasn't like, you know, the fan base saw Stephen Curry and you know, saw some form of a messiah that was going to save this organization.
Definitely very excited to be here. It's a dream come true for me, to be drafted in the NBA, be an NBA player, and have an opportunity to take my game to the next level. I definitely see Golden State as a great fit for the way I play.
While there was some excitement in the Bay surrounding the team's new rookie, questions remained about how Stephen Curry and current franchise centerpiece Monte Ellis would play together in the same backcourt.
In his early years, Monte Ellis was probably a little more popular, and people were asking more so, how are they going to fit Steph in when Monte plays a similar position, only not as good of a shooter?
As the opening tip for the 2010 season approached, the questions in Golden State would only continue to grow, and the eyes of Oakland were locked in on the rookie from Davidson.
First NBA game. So excited to be here. It's like a dream come true for me, so I'm kind of nervous now, actually, walking up to the gym and everything, but hopefully we'll have a good game and get that first win, so I'm excited. That's all I can say right now.
I remember when he first checked in, I was lucky enough to be at that game, and I share season tickets with my wife, and leaned over to her and said, hey, this could be a big deal,
Christmas morning for an NBA season. Oracle will be rocking Monte Ellis, the new leader, and Stephen Curry, the new phenom. They'll be in the backcourt together tonight. Here's the Beadron screen. Jumper right through.
Doesn't even need a screen. He can just take him off the dribble.
Curry wing jumper, good.
I knew Don Nelson and his style, and they told me, like, when I first got to camp, like, yo, you're gonna love this system because it's all about just playing fast. Everybody's gonna get a look. He wants you to score, be aggressive offensively, and they weren't lying.
Parker reached on it, reached again.
Curry put it in and draws the foul. Stephen Curry.
How far out was that, Coach? That was back in Charlotte, North Carolina there.
Curry gets Horford backing up. The ball slipped out of his hands. He made it anyway.
He feels it now.
Curry three. He got it. And here they come again.
I think with Steph, it was really hey, you've got to prove yourself to be in the NBA. But when he did, coming down to the second half of the season, the flashes were incredible.
Oh, Steph Curry! What a play!
You didn't get a sense of 4 titles great. You didn't get a sense of 2 MVP great. You didn't get a sense of unanimous MVP great. But you got a sense of what he might become. There'd be one or two moments every game or so where you'd almost have to double take, where you couldn't believe what it was. You couldn't wait to see the replay because what you actually saw live couldn't have actually happened.
Curry, but to dribble that ball and hit the three. He thought about passing it, said, no, I'll dribble it instead. Steph Curry, all the way to the rim.
Look at this move. Wow. How fun is he?
He could shoot. He was a great shooter the moment he stepped in. I think people expected that. But I don't think myself, along with fans, along with really I would say even the coaching staff, expected him to be such a good ball handler and passer at that time of his career. It became pretty obvious that he's not just a JJ Redick coming off the screen. He's not just a Kyle Korver coming off the screen. He's going to be able to get his own shot. He's going to be able to get to the rim. He's going to be able to get other people's shots. And when that happened, it was, for me, that was the flash. I was like, oh, all right, well, maybe he's more like Steve Nash.
Finishing second in the running for Rookie of the Year, Stephen Curry had proven early on that he was capable of being a major contributor at the NBA level. Behind averaging 17 points and nearly 6 assists, Curry had quickly adapted to the Warriors' free-flowing offense in a way that highlighted his shot-making ability. Despite still adjusting to the speed of the pro game, Steph had managed to put up the most 30-point games by a rookie since LeBron James in 2003, while also setting the record for the most threes made by a rookie. However, despite the on-court success, it was his willingness to grow and desire to learn that would catch the attention of people around the organization. Curry's goal was never just to make a splash in his first season. He was determined to build a foundation for the future.
Where are you going to be in 10 years? What kind of player are you going to be?
10 years, I want to be known as a true professional, a guy that played the game the right way. Hopefully still in the league and still effective in the league. There's not many people that last in double-digit years, so it starts now and building a foundation for later on down the road.
While Curry would continue his growth in year 2, starting all 74 games, it was clear that the team would need to make a decision about who would hold the reins of the franchise's future. The Steph and Monte Ellis experiment was fun, but capped the future potential of the team under a glass ceiling of 2 primary scoring guards. Following the NBA lockout in 2011, the Warriors were left with a choice of 2 directions moving forward, and it seemed that an unfortunate series of events could derail the career of a young Curry.
Neal dribbling off his leg.
Oh my goodness. Steph Curry hurt his ankle coming out of the pad. My word, he just got caught on his toe.
Uh-oh. They look across the court. And you don't want to see that.
Curry hurts his foot again. He's had injury problems throughout his career.
He's had 2 surgeries on his right ankle, Curry.
And there is something that is plagued Steph his entire career, twisted ankles. He's had surgery twice.
Every question I got was, how are your ankles? Are you going to be, that pseudo Grant Hill story, or where you have an injury that kind of holds you back from reaching your full potential?
That thing was going to derail his career.
It was a very serious issue.
I was ready to let go of the rope.
I was concerned most about him, about his ankles, because of all those injuries and things he was having. And my God, to say he's going to ruin his career.
Didn't know if I was going to be, healthy enough to play night in, night out.
Part of the reason why it was serious is because Steph never really looked the part of this dominant, all-time great basketball player. And then on top of that, you see his ankles rolling. And that fed a lot into, I think, why a lot of people were not holding their breaths that Steph was going to turn into this incredibly amazing, Hall of Fame level player. The ankle thing, I think we all looked at that and thought, that's what's going to prevent Stephen Curry from being a great. That is the Warriors' curse. applied to Stephen Curry.
This was a beaten dog franchise, man. You know, anytime something bad happened, we weren't surprised. We were waiting for it, and we just assumed that he would never get over it.
He's always injured, the rumors, everything. It's really tough. But again, he's a very competitive, determined kid. He wasn't going to let it stop him.
From what was told, from what was reported, he essentially spent an entire offseason fixing his hips because that was causing weak lower stability to his body.
But I'll push it even further and add it to the legacy of Steph. Again, it happens. None of us thought he was coming back. We didn't think that was going to go down at all. And another impossible thing he has done is shake off what looked to be a genetic problem. You know, a thing that doctors were telling him this is going to happen consistently. And now, I mean, I don't know how long it's been, but I've stopped holding my breath when he goes down.
He took his ankle issues and turned that into fuel and motivation to be the player he is today. A lot of people, when it comes to injuries, it brings them down, and rightfully so. No judgment if it does. I mean, you know, like, it's a part of the game, but Steph took it as, I'm going to beat this, and this is going to make me work even harder, and look what it resulted.
Once they told me I was their guy, I was at peace with it. I'm totally excited because it just means that one chapter of my life is done and I'm on to another season, no pun intended, and a season full of challenges, a season full of growth, and a season full of flat out excitement for me and my family.
With new head coach Mark Jackson in the process of changing the team's culture and having drafted a true shooting guard in Klay Thompson, the Warriors were set to embark on a new direction as a franchise. As the trade deadline approached in 2012, Golden State would make a decision that would change the trajectory of both the team and Curry's career forever.
We were in Sacramento. It's the lockout year, so it's right at the trade deadline. We get to the arena. I was on the first bus. Monte usually comes on the second bus. And we get in the locker room, it's kind of a different energy. You know, around trade deadline, it's always like that, but this was different. It was like, it's a little quiet in here. Like, what's going on? And I'm getting tape, getting ready to play in the game, and you see across the ticker on the TV in the locker room, like, breaking news, NBA trade, Warriors trade, Monte Ellis, Epe Udoh, and somebody else for Andrew Bogut. And that's how we found out. We were all in the locker room, like, oh, what? What's going on? So Monte shows up. He just got off the phone with his agent. His agent just called him. And this is maybe an hour and a half before the game, 2 hours before the game. So then, you know, he's kind of like emotional, but, you know, kind of resolute, like, this is happening, like, forget y'all, like, not the team, but forget the organization, in terms of, like, he was the true ultimate Warrior. Like, he was a fan favorite, deservedly so. We Believe, the last one from the We Believe team.
How'd you find out?
Read it on the TV.
You didn't hear from the team?
No.
You saw it on the TV? Did that bother you at all?
No, I ain't got no problem with it. I mean, it is what it is, like I said.
It was a tough blow for, like, all of Dub Nation. It wasn't really received well. So that's how it went down. Everybody kind of said their goodbyes to Monte, Epe, they left. And then Coach Jackson pulled me out the locker room. He's like, yo, I said, I'll let you know, like, they wanted you in the trade. But for whatever reason, like, and that's part of the document, that didn't go down like that. Because I kind of stepped into and said, I'm going to give you the keys. I felt like I really believe in you. We just got to get you healthy. And that's what the rest of the season's going to be about. So crazy, crazy day. I'll never forget that moment.
Having signed Stephen to a 4-year, $44 million deal in the offseason, the Warriors had made it clear that they were committed to building around Curry moving forward. The pieces of a new core had begun to come together as Golden State drafted a Swiss Army knife prospect out of Michigan State by the name of Draymond Green.
So Mark Jackson brings defense, brings intensity to the Golden State Warriors.
Curry three.
Finally, with the keys to the franchise, Stephen Curry would make strides in 2013. He was fully healthy, surrounded by a team tailored to his strengths, and backed by a coach who believed in him. This was a new era of basketball in Oakland. This was the birth of the baby-faced assassin.
Here's Curry. Taylor working on him. Oh, he's left it behind. Gets an open three. Yes! Uh-oh.
Into the rebound. And 3. And 2. His 3. He's fouled. Oh, man! The wizardry of Steph Curry.
Steph has more game than his pops. And that's with all due respect to old school basketball and Dell. To me, Steph Curry has blossomed into a superstar. He has simply become the face of this franchise.
Curry with a steal and a foot race with Kid Gilchrist, and the reverse avoids the block. Oh, my goodness.
We're so used to watching the people that are appointed superstars. I think LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Victor Wembanyama is coming in. I think it's pretty sweet to watch someone explode onto the scene that you had no idea was going to be a super mega star.
The Lakers, what a move by Curry. What a move!
He can boogie on anybody. He's not some spot-up shooter. He's got the handle to create space and shots for himself. He can take you off the dribble. He can dance on you.
Steph Curry.
Oh. I mean, he had Tyler Hansbrough reaching for the ball and everything.
To his credit, he's kind of like I was. I was never satisfied. I was trying to get better. Hell, I was the best free throw shooter in the league, and I changed my free throw style to get even better. And I was better at the end of my career than I was at the beginning. And in Steph's case, he wasn't satisfied with what he was doing. He went out, and as great a shooter as he was, he made himself an even greater shooter. He became better with his decision-making, his shot selection. I mean, in his case, I mean, he takes shots that for most people are bad shots, but for him, they're not. I mean, it's crazy.
Curry, that's way too easy for him.
It was the first time in 2013, I think, that Warrior fans started allowing ourselves to believe we might finally have our modern day superstar. You know, I am too young to really have active memories of Rick Barry. And so in my life, we had various people. We had the Antoine Jamisons of the world. We had people who could score. But it wasn't until 2013 and Steph's real ascendance where we started realizing we might have a Hall of Fame, top 10 of all-time difference maker on our hands.
Score from everywhere. Curry from deep. There's the record. He stands alone as the best three-point shooter in a single season in NBA history.
He makes a couple. You better look out. That guy is hot.
Curry for 3. Wow! Unbelievable! Making it rain in New York. One back the other way. Curry, why not? For 3. Bingo! Good against Belt. For 3. Got it! What a night for Steph Curry. His 11th 3 of the night.
In his first All-Star season, Steph would average 22.9 points per game, up nearly 5 points from his previous season. He had proven that he was capable of running the show as a point guard, dropping nearly 7 assists a night as he ran the floor with backcourt mate Klay Thompson. The duo had earned the nickname of the Splash Brothers, ushering in a new era of Golden State basketball centered around fast-paced offense and insane shots from distance.
Thompson steps into a long one and hits for 3.
Woo, boy, he can shoot the ball.
The regular season had been a breakout year for Stephen Curry, but it was the 2013 playoffs that would see him take his place as the future of the game.
I had always heard about how amazing Oracle Arena was during the playoffs. The We Believe team was it 2007 when they made that run to beat Dallas. I'd heard like that this the crazy. It's already the craziest arena and it's loud in the regular season and all that, but the playoffs is just a different vibe. So we got into that series. We were 6 seeds, so we started in Denver, came back 1-1, and it's like we walked out and there was just haze around over the court. Fans like 75% full. 20 minutes before the tip-off. They're chanting Warriors. Got a nice aroma in the building. It was just amazing atmosphere. So you kind of get wrapped up in that.
The Warriors were the 6th seed. The Nuggets were the 3 seed. Ty Lawson was a sweet point guard for Denver back then. Andre Iguodala was on that team. Andre Miller was on that team. They had a really, really good squad. And Steph just took a torch and just burned it down.
Here's Curry right on cue. Splashes through a 3 to tie it at 15. The first field goal for Curry. 5 points on the night. Curry off the bounce. Hits Curry with a second 3. Curry gets past him into the lane. Left-handed hook gets the bounce.
Right in front of Denver's bench, JaVale McGee's literally standing up. There's like 5 or 6 guys around him, and get the ball in the corner. And obviously you've been in that situation where you rise up and everybody just talking, trash behind you. And for some reason, I just got an out of body experience. And literally, as I let go, it was like I never felt the shot feel better than that. I turned around and kind of looked at JaVale, and then just ran off, and it went in. And that was when I didn't even check to see if it went in. I just was waiting for the noise.
Curry, up fake, slides by, bucket.
So that's what's made them so good during the regular season. Allowed them Curry with a long 3-point shot.
A lot of success early on. Curry, but Curry's taking advantage of this matchup. The left-handed finger roll. Curry electrifying this crowd. Curry with the steal. Steph Curry fires away. Got it! Are you kidding me?
The thing I remember is that place going crazy and Warrior fans exchanging looks like, is this really happening? Is this, if we pinch ourselves, is this all gonna disappear?
Triple. Stephen Curry has become a flamethrower to start the second half. Inside, scooping it home. Stephen Curry. It's tapped away by Thompson, picked up by Lawson. That's it. Golden State will advance. Golden State goes to the second round. The 6th seed is beaten the 3.
I think most people think that is like the defining moment of the season for the Warriors, the coming out party for the Warriors and Stephen Curry and all of them. But for me, it was that second round against the Spurs that really made me go, oh my God, this is, we have something real here.
Bonner starting here, and a 3-point field goal by Curry. Curry defended now by Parker, and Bogut setting a big screen, knocking Parker down, but Curry hitting a 3. And here is Curry hitting another 3. Look at that Golden State bench. They can't believe it, and they've seen it.
For them to go in San Antonio and win not just a game, but a playoff game in there, for them to go into that series and push it, I believe, to 6 games, against a Spurs team that went to the NBA Finals that year, should have won the championship, won it the next season. That's what opened my eyes.
Curry didn't even have control of the ball, picked it up and threw it in.
While Golden State had been sent home in the second round, there was no question that they had just put the entire NBA on notice. There was something special brewing on the West Coast, and behind their newly crowned star point guard, the Warriors would soon take their first step towards becoming the game's next dynasty.
Survived, and now they will advance. The Los Angeles Clippers have won Game 7, and they advance to the second round with tears of joy down the face of their first-year coach, Doc Rivers.
The Golden State Warriors have fired head coach Mark Jackson. The move comes in the wake of the Warriors' elimination from the basketball playoffs.
We're committed to building a team that can win a championship, and that's all we care about, that's all we think about. So I understand the concern, but trust us, and we are moving in the right direction here.
I want to thank all of you for coming. It's a special day for the Warriors, the day we announced Steve Kerr as the head coach.
My view is not next year we've got to win 52 games or we've got to get to the second round. My view is, what are we going to do the next decade? What are we going to do the next 5 years? My goal is to continue this upward trend that the team has already been on.
Following the controversial coaching change in the 2014 offseason, the Warriors were set to take on yet another new direction as a franchise. The front office had seen the team's recent first-round exit as a sign that new leadership was needed in order for the current roster to reach its full potential, a move that wasn't received well by Golden State's now established star.
Just finished a tough, grueling 7-game series with the Clippers. Within 48 hours, they were moving in a different direction. So I've obviously voiced my opinion from day one of how much I love Coach, love playing for him, what I felt like he did for our team and our organization, changing the culture.
There were a lot of questions. The Warriors were not one of the favorites. You go back and look at the odds. They were not one of the favorites. They brought in a new coach, Steve Kerr, that obviously now people love. But at the time, Steph, was one of the voices that said, hey, I want to keep Mark Jackson.
There's no secret I didn't want him fired when it went down. With Bob Myers and Joe Lake and Peter Guber, they wanted to make a decision, and they brought in Steve. And my whole point was, like, if you fire Coach Jackson, you just got to get the next hire right, because we're in a position now where you can't mess it up, and obviously they got it right.
Steve Kerr would inherit one of the most talented rosters in the league, as the Dubs had added talented wing Andre Iguodala to their now already developed core. Both Klay Thompson and Draymond Green had grown into the perfect complementary pieces, with the former set to break out in his 4th season after a much improved 2014 campaign, and the latter embracing his role as the emotional leader of the roster.
Well, we're wondering who's going to come up with the big defensive stop. That guy. Wow, Draymond Green.
There's not a point guard in the association that could have set that play up any better.
The Draymond Green part of it, I thought, was the final piece where you suddenly looked at the Warriors and went, wow, this is a great team. I mean, you look at it 1 through 5, and each individual piece is dynamic, but they play perfectly together. And now you have with Draymond, you now have your mentally tough piece of this, the Dennis Rodman type, that just does all the dirty stuff, that is a bit of an enforcer, right? So if someone else decides they want to start messing with Stephen Curry or Klay or something like that, you have, an answer for that. You have a player that can completely go face to face with anyone.
Stephen Curry himself was coming off yet another leap in his development as the centerpiece in the Bay, putting together his first All-NBA level season as he averaged a career high in both points and assists. Having learned from some of the game's greatest minds, Coach Kerr would implement a completely new, offensively focused system in Golden State. Ball movement, free-flowing sets, and fast-paced gameplay took their place as priority on the court. A new philosophy built entirely around Curry himself. Steph had already proven that he was capable of being the primary option, but now he would take his place as the engine powering the league's most explosive offense.
Push out to Steph. Foot race with McDaniels.
Starting the season off on an unbelievable 21-3 run, Golden State had shocked the league with a scoring attack that gave opposing coaches nightmares. As the focal point, Stephen Curry had seen his game elevate for the world to see, taking the leap from an all-star level player and embracing a spot in the conversation of the best player in the NBA.
I know now there's a difference between somebody who can be occasionally great and someone who can be counted on to be great in the most pressure-filled moments.
At 5, Curry for the lead. Down to 7. At 5. At 4, Curry jumper.
Stephen Curry there's very few players in the NBA that I've ever seen have this special, like this aura, this transcendent quality. That's how special Stephen Curry was. He rose in the biggest moments. They didn't phase him. Like, that's huge, right? Like, he embraced the biggest challenges imaginable and just asked for more.
Curry, yes! The capper! Iguodala push ahead. Curry down the lane, and he rammed it home! A right-hand spike!
Curry inline shakes the ball out of his boots and hits a fallaway jump shot. And the bench is loving it.
I think the number one thing that took Steph from being a normal great NBA player into an all-time great NBA player, I think was his ability to really hit shots off the dribble. And I think that's still the biggest difference with Steph that we're never going to see from anyone else.
Curry, unbelievable!
The way that he would come off hesitation drives, the way he would step back for three, the way he would cross over and then pull it back again the other way, he would do things off the dribble that I think we still have never seen.
Curry splits the defense behind the back, fires a three, oh, he puts it in! What a spectacular move!
That could be the greatest move I've ever seen. No, I'm being serious.
He's just impossible. I mean, I heard a couple of interviews from some people saying, you got a guy you hate to guard most is Steph Curry, because he's moving all the time. He's running you into his teammates, and he's on the go. And then if you give him a little bit of daylight, he can get the shot off and score it.
Curry hits the three and will hit to the line.
That Steph's continued excellence never wavered throughout this new journey for all of us was the first sign that this guy wasn't just incredible. He was incredible in the highest echelons. You know, pick a player, pick anyone on any team. Steph, belongs in that same category.
The MVP of the NBA, 2014-2015, Wardell Stephen Curry II.
When it comes to basketball, I was always the smallest kid on my team. I had a terrible, ugly catapult shot from the time I was 14 because I wasn't strong enough to shoot over my head, and I had to reconstruct that over a summer. You want to be the hardest working person in whatever you do, and you'll put yourself in position to be successful. Pops, you're the example of what a true professional is on and off the court. I remember a lot of your career, and to be able to follow in your footsteps. It means a lot to me. What I tell people is just be the best version of yourself in anything that you do. You don't have to live anybody else's story. Sometimes people make it seem like you have to have certain prerequisites or a crazy life story in order to be successful in this world. But the truth is you really don't. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack, what you have too much of, but all you need to have is faith in God, an undying passion for what you do or what you choose to do in this life, and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful and whatever you put your mind to. Make sure you live in the moment and work your butt off every single day. And I hope I inspire people all around the world to just be themselves, be humble, and be grateful for all the blessings in your life. And I'm truly honored to be your MVP this year. So thank you very much.
As the franchise's first league MVP since Wilt Chamberlain, it was clear that Curry had elevated himself to a new status in the NBA. Off the court, his following had exploded, making him one of the most popular players in the league. A partnership with Under Armour had resulted in the release of his new line of signature shoes, and he had been the leading vote-getter amongst fans for the 2015 All-Star Game. After starting the season with the 8th highest odds to win a title, Steph had led Golden State to the best record in the NBA, shocking the basketball world by winning 67 games. Nobody could have predicted the Warriors' success in the regular season, but as the playoffs approached, Curry and the Dubs knew they still had to prove to the world and themselves that they were a legitimate contender.
Here comes Curry. Curry to the basket, foul, shot's good and one.
For his teammates.
Curry again from three. Steph Curry finding the range.
Leaving is Curry. That was sensational.
Green's got it, looking for Curry or Thompson. Curry lets Holiday go by, and Steph Curry hits a three. Chance to tie it here for Golden State. Curry's got it. And Curry will let it go for three, comes up short. Offensive rebound, Curry again. And Curry hits a three.
The Warriors win their first sweep in a 7-game series since the 1975 finals, the last time they won the championship. And they're one round closer to achieving their goal of getting back to the top of the NBA.
First playoff matchup between these two teams. Curry again, back-to-back threes from Steph Curry. Curry steps back. Bang! What a handle. Curry got Green off his feet. Count the basket. Also Stephen Curry. Curry for three. Green weaving, trying to get the shot up. No call that way. Curry flings it the other way. And he got it!
The MVP gave them 32. And for the first time since 1976, the Warriors are going to the conference finals.
After losing only 2 games in the first 2 rounds, Golden State had gained some momentum entering the Western Conference Finals. Now with the spotlight on Oracle Arena, Curry would once again demonstrate why he was the league's MVP.
Here comes Curry. Curry for three. Bang! Jones on Curry. Curry the drive, step back, two-pointer, puts it in. Karam's out to Curry, puts up a three, and puts it in. Oh, stop, please. And Curry does it again. Curry behind the back, drives to the basket, scoop layup off the glass. As the crowd will celebrate, the Golden State Warriors are in the NBA Finals for the first time in 40 years.
The Warrior team hasn't been here in 40-some years, so we got 4 more wins to finish off the job. This is we should enjoy this. Get recharged, refocused for the finals. Ready to go.
It's people that came to me and said, LeBron, you got to do what makes you happy. And I was like, yeah, I think so. And also, I'm going to do what makes my city and my state happy. And that's why I came back. I love you. I'm back.
Having returned to his hometown prior to the 2014 season, LeBron James had been on a mission to bring a championship to the city of Cleveland. The Cavaliers had traded for All-Star Kevin Love, pairing him with the exciting Kyrie Irving in an effort to form a contender around the King.
James for the win. It's gone. LeBron James at the buzzer.
Despite losing Kevin Love to a shoulder injury in the first round, the Cavaliers had blown through the Eastern Conference playoffs as LeBron James made his way to his 5th straight NBA Finals. On the opposite side, Golden State found themselves in a position that had been unthinkable just a few years prior. The Warriors had proven people wrong all season long, and were now hungry to show the world that they belonged. With home court advantage on their side, the fans in Oracle were electric, ready to witness the Bay's first NBA Finals in over 4 decades.
Curry for 3, puts it in. Curry guarded by James. Curry gets away, swoops inside again, left-handed, backs it in. 5 to shoot. James jumper. Oh, James now with 25. James on Curry. Spinning. Puts it up. Puts it in. Curry fires. Hits. Stephen Curry puts the Warriors up 2. And Steph Curry will dribble it out. Game 1 goes to the Warriors.
With 26 points in his first NBA Finals action, Stephen Curry had helped Golden State pull out a 108-100 overtime win in Game 1. LeBron had put together a 44-point performance to keep the game close, but an injury to co-star Kyrie Irving at the beginning of OT had left the Cavs short-handed down the final stretch. This injury would ultimately keep Kyrie out for the remainder of the series, but even in his absence, Cleveland would come out with a different energy in Game 2.
James falling away. Nice shot from LeBron James. Mozgov, left-handed. Pretty play from Mozgov. Drives on Green, gets past, layup is good. Explosive move, and James has 26.
Once again in Game 2, the result would be decided in overtime, but it was a surprising contribution from role player Matthew Dellavedova that would make all the difference for the Cavaliers.
Dellavedova, another floater, again, drops it in.
Curry on the drive, step back, puts it up. Air ball, James the rebound, and the NBA Finals are tied at 1 game apiece. An inspiring bounce back.
In what had been perhaps the worst playoff performance of his career thus far, Stephen Curry had struggled in Game 2, scoring just 19 points on 5 for 23 shooting. The MVP had been hounded by Dellavedova all game long.
Dellavedova was a pest when it came to Stephen Curry.
I hated the name Delly. I hated the concept that he would somehow slow Steph down, let alone be able to guard him.
Part of it was the size. Part of it was the refs doing 8 years ago what they do now, which is let people get their hands all over Steph.
I watch his feet. Those aren't overachievers' feet. Those are star defenders' feet that I'm seeing. Dellavedova, after the game the other night on SportsCenter, talked about how much tape he watched of Steph before the finals started, because they had all those days to get ready. He was beating Steph to his sweet spot with his head.
As the series traveled east to Cleveland, the narratives about both Curry and the Warriors would continue to grow throughout the media. Both teams had a win under their belt entering Game 3, and the world was tuned in to what could be a pivotal moment in the series.
James on the flush. LeBron James will hold it for the final shot. Pass to James Jones for three. It's good.
So right there, guys, we got to keep our poise and we got to bring our brains to this out. Bring our brains and our hearts and compete.
Thompson drives on Mozgov, gets to the rim and throws it down. Oh, impressive dunk from Klay Thompson. There's the ball handling. Reverse layup. Bank shot is good. Stephen Curry again. And it's a three-point game. Here comes James. Cross to Dellavedova. Alley-oop to James. And he throws it down. 6 to shoot. James again. This time sets for three. Got it. Timeout, Golden State. Curry catches, fires, and hits. 6-point game. Curry looking for a screen. Dribbles off two, puts up a three. It's good! Stephen Curry nails another, and it's a 3-point game.
James has it, and that will do it. The Cavaliers take Game 3 of the Finals.
Behind a second 40-point performance in just 3 games, LeBron James and the Cavaliers would take a dangerous 2-1 lead over Golden State. Once again, Dellavedova had done everything he could to slow down Curry. But after a 27-point and 7 threes made night by Steph, Matthew was quite literally left with nothing in the tank.
It was reported after the game that Delly was in the hospital. He was in the hospital getting IV. He was getting fluids because of how much energy he exerted just to stop Steph Curry.
Delly almost died guarding Steph Curry. We have footage of this man in the ice tub, like literally to his neck trying to guard this man. Like he literally gave everything he had and there was no excuse. There wasn't like, oh, he just had it going. It was like, no, it's like, oh, I'm trying, or no. It wasn't none of that. He could barely talk after. That's how hard he was trying.
At the risk of going down 3-1, the Warriors were left with a decision to make. They had to find a way to slow down LeBron.
But when they were down 2-1, I'm not gonna lie, man, I thought it was over. They had no answer for LeBron. Like, LeBron was picking them apart. He was scoring at will. He was doing whatever the hell he wanted. There's a reason why they took a 2-1 lead in that series.
We didn't know how to deal with, or I didn't know how to deal with any sustained success. This all felt like a fever dream. I had like a PTSD response. I thought for sure, well, it's finally coming to an end. This is absolutely going nowhere. And to Steph's credit, and this fits into some of the his mental fortitude off the floor, he did not panic in a way that we did. You know, he seemingly understood that his team was better. They kept they continued to play the type of basketball that led them, they'd be fine, and ultimately he was right.
Curry, crossover, trying to get some space, goes underneath, scoop layup is good. Curry, nice crossover, fires away, knocks it down, 3-pointer for Curry. Curry gets past Jones, pulls back, puts up a three, puts it in. Stephen Curry from downtown, and it's a 13-point lead. Green throws it in Livingston, back out Iguodala, puts up the three, knocks it down. Iguodala with his third 3-pointer of the game.
And these NBA finals are tied up in 2 games apiece.
Having stolen back home court advantage with a dominant 19-point win, you could feel the momentum swinging back in the favor of the Warriors. Coach Kerr's pregame adjustment had paid off, as Iguodala had been able to hold LeBron to just 20 points on 22 shots, all while allowing Golden State's offense to establish itself in the fourth quarter. Now with the opportunity to completely flip the series on its head, Game 5 in Oracle Arena would be a defining moment for not only Golden State, but for the growing legacy of Stephen Curry.
Curry steps back. Curry for three. Got knocked down, and still nailed it.
I do think that series showed just how clutch Steph was. If you go back and watch that Game 4 and then Game 5, especially Game 5 at home 2-2 series, and watch what Steph Curry does to Matthew Dellavedova.
Curry steps back. Oh! Stephen Curry with some magic. Curry splits the defense, goes down the lane, left-handed, backs it in.
That to me was a huge difference between Steph maybe not being one of the all-time greats versus revealing to the world that he is some players would have shrunk in that moment. But no, Steph shrugged it off. Took him a few games, but he realized, oh yeah, I'm Stephen Curry.
Curry looking for that opening. Steps back, crossover, fires away. Wow! Another three from Curry! Curry for three. Bang! Exclamation point! The Warriors are one win away from their first NBA title in 40 years.
As tip-off to Game 6 grew closer, you could feel a different energy across the Warriors' locker room. Years of irrelevance had left the franchise shackled with a reputation of failure. Even after their resurgence over the past 3 years, the Warriors had remained the subject of doubts, as people questioned if they had what it took to bring a trophy back to Oakland. However, on this night, a night 40 years in the making, decades of disappointments and struggles would wash away. This was the night Stephen Curry and the Warriors would once and for all take their place in NBA history.
Green, backdoor to Curry. Beautiful pass. Ball moving. Iguodala hesitant to shoot now. Curry not. And hits the three-pointer. Curry rifle pass to Iguodala. Curry gets an opening. Fires away. Got it again. And the dream season is now complete. The Golden State Warriors are the 2015 NBA champions. Their first title in 40 years.
The first championship for the Warriors since 1975 it felt like a cathartic moment for Warriors fans. I think Warriors fans had seen a lot of fun teams, a lot of fun players. I think you had Run TMC, right? Really fun. You had the We Believe Warriors, Baron Davis, Jason Richardson, Steven Jackson, and they meant a lot to the culture of the Bay Area, both in Oakland and San Francisco. I think people attached themselves to these players and really felt like, hey, like they were part of what the Bay Area was. And I think when they won that first championship, it was the first time that Bay Area fans really felt like, hey, we have a team that's actually great, not just fun.
You talked about the changing perception of what it meant to be a Warrior. What does it mean now?
World champs. This is truly special. This group is a special group. From the time we started the season, this is what we envisioned, and a lot of hard work goes into it, and all the way down to the last minute of this game. This is what it's all about.
Well, I was most happy for the fans. The fans have been so loyal to that team for so many years, you know, filling up the arena and watching the teams play and having one disappointment after another. So I was just happy that the fans had an opportunity to celebrate the championship. I was happy for the guys because they're good people. I got to meet them. And so I was very happy for the franchise because I'll always be a Warrior at heart.
When you have a sports movie, pick any of them, Rocky, Hoosiers, Creed, I mean, just pick one. It's always about an underdog. They've never had a movie about an underdog for 30 years being terrible, and then suddenly turning it around. So the Warriors win wasn't just improbable. It's so improbable that Hollywood never even tried this story. They thought it would be too ridiculous. So when they ultimately reached this finish line, a finish line that no other movie had even contemplated, was it incredible? Hell yes.
Fortunately, it's an emotion that a lot of people can share. I'm sure just asking this, if anyone's watching, they're immediately thinking to their own experience. Look, all I was doing was screaming for like an hour probably. Drove up here for the parade. That's the only championship parade I've been to. I did it all, dude. It was that special. It's hard to put into words how elated I think myself and millions of others were at that moment. It was awesome.
You don't know what it takes to get there until you actually accomplish it, and it's just a whole nother level of freedom after that. It's so hard to put into words, but when you finally hear the horn sound, we in Cleveland celebrating. Chains was off.
I'm just gonna sit here for a second. Put the hours in, the hard work, the practice, fight through injuries for this. It looks so much better in person too.
So the Warriors come off that title, and I'm sure you remember everybody, fans, media, players, everybody were saying, cute story. Cute story. They were able to get through it, but that's not a team you're going to have to worry about going forward.
Can the Warriors repeat?
You want the long answer or the short answer?
Both.
All right, I'll give you a short answer. No.
Cleveland Cavaliers are the favorites to win the NBA championship next year.
The Warriors running through that gauntlet in the West.
You had a lot of doubters. You had a lot of haters in the world who were discrediting and discounting the world championship and saying the Warriors got lucky because of injury, for example.
I'm still of the mindset that Cleveland would have won that championship if both Kevin Love and Kyrie were healthy.
They were very fortunate, though. Some point guards are missing. Spurs got knocked out.
Big breaks.
They're big breaks.
The talk after the first NBA Finals that they won was that they won because of injuries, that Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving got hurt.
It was a fluke. You got your one, great, you're done. It's never going to happen again.
Steph isn't that great. It's just kind of fluky. He didn't even win Finals MVP. All this stuff, right? All this talk in the offseason was all of what the Warriors heard. And so they came out and said, hey, let's prove our point.
On the back tap. Here comes Curry. Here's Thompson on the left wing. Curry puts it up.
Klay Thompson running with Iguodala. The lob! What a pass!
We had OD confidence. We had chemistry, like you said, and the chains was off. We were just let's just go win every single game.
Curry takes it away from Joakim Noah. Lob to Iguodala. No rebounding this year. Lob to Ascension.
What the Warriors are doing is an outlier. They're doing something totally different. Now, one of the things
with the chip on their shoulders because some people have called them fraudulent champions, all assist in their elevated level of motivation. I think
I'm not sure I've ever seen a team shoot the ball as well as Golden State. I don't even really know what to compare them to.
Over to Mr. Wide Open. Klay Thompson with another three.
And Hogan hammered that one.
I don't see anybody on the schedule who can mess with them at this point.
The 16-0 Warriors are now favored by the Basketball Power Index for every game through March 19th.
The defending champions are 22-0.
To watch them come out and punch every one of those critics in their face was vindicating. And the person who was throwing those punches was Steph Curry.
Curry again. Backed into Curry again. And he backed it in.
Banked into three, looking for a foul. He is truly a wizard.
Oh, Ronnie Price went for the steal. And Curry tuned him up. The last 21 points. A three. Good! A 28-point quarter.
Steph had this crazy ability that year. He would just close his eyes, it felt like, or maybe I was closing my eyes, and he would just throw the ball into the sky, and a split second later, that ball just falls through the net.
Curry weaving through traffic. Steph putting it up and in. Double Steph. His brother nearly knocks it away. He shoots over him and makes it. Deep Steph.
Steph Curry is now in the midst of having the greatest single season any player has ever had.
How in the world did he pull it off? A Houdini move by Steph Curry.
You realize he is leading the NBA in percentage of shots made in the paint. So he's not just beating you from three, he's killing you from two also.
Curry gets around, Lillard lays it up again! It's like the Globetrotters.
Just roll back the tape on 2016, and you cannot tell me that anybody can guard this guy. Nobody ever did. Nobody could.
How did he get up there? Stephen Curry from way downtown. Forcing 1 point away. Got the half-court play. Don't watch out.
Oh, my! Top part of the backboard. Oh, man.
There is simply no way to stop this young brother right here. It is special beyond measure.
Curry, another three. Oh, it's good. They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Steph doesn't talk a whole lot of shit. He's not an aggressive person orally. But his play that year was as close to you as we will ever see from Steph Curry.
In what was seen by many as the greatest individual season in NBA history, Stephen Curry would ascend to another level in 2016. His 30 points per game on insane 45, 50, 90 shooting splits is a dominant level of efficiency that the game had never seen before. A season-long performance that would result in Curry becoming the only player ever to be unanimously voted MVP.
It doesn't even make sense, man. I mean, it's a dream come true to be in this position, and very appreciative of, like you said, the club that I'm in. I was thinking about that in the history of the game. I think it's 60 plus years they've voted on MVP awards, and there's no denying the fact that those legends and the guys that have won MVP obviously deserved it and cemented their place in history by winning the award. But anytime you can do something that's never been done in the history of the game, I mean, you gotta just take a moment and just be appreciative of that.
Steph's incredible season would result in more than just success on the court. Fans across the country, both in Oracle and in visiting arenas, found themselves crowding around pregame warm-ups, all hoping to just catch a glimpse of the MVP. In stores across the country, his signature shoes with Under Armour were flying off the shelves, putting up sales numbers that rivaled the industry's most popular athletes. However, it turns out the greatest way to measure Curry's success in 2016 isn't by traditional figures or numbers. It's by the way his popularity influenced the way the game was played forever.
One of the things that will set Steph's legacy apart is that he has changed the game. Pick a gym right now. Go to any of them. Go to a YMCA. Go to a high-level game. Go to a pro-am. Go literally any level, high school, junior high, across the board. What you will see is somebody shooting a 30-footer. That did not happen before Steph Curry. And I think it was that vindicative season where everybody started realizing who he was and wanted to be like him. I don't go into a gym and rip down a backboard. I can't be 6'8". I don't have that skill set. And that we all look to Steph and thought to ourselves, oh my God, that's something I would like to emulate and might be able to. His impact was, I think, really seen during that year. And when I say impact, that's what I mean. He's changed everything.
As the Warriors found themselves coming down the final stretch of the regular season, it was clear they had the potential to do something special. Behind Curry's magical season and the team's chemistry being at an all-time high, what had started as a hot take early in the season was becoming more of a reality. Golden State was on pace to break the '96 Chicago Bulls' seemingly impossible 72-win record.
I don't know at what point we started to even talk about 73-9. I'm trying to it was probably right after the All-Star break. You start to think about, if we win, 7 out of 8 games just the rest of the way, we're gonna get there. And then it became a huge talking point, probably the last 20 games. And we carried that all the way through and actually got it done.
I was concerned that they might lose a little something, worrying about, because the record is nice, but the championship is what you're playing for.
The Warriors had this thing wrapped up pretty early. Like, they could have just sat back, taken their foot off the throttle and still gone into the playoffs as a number 1 seed. They still could have gone in there with like 65 wins or whatever, and they would have been fine. But they chased this record and it affected them. They're human beings. There's only so much fuel in the tank.
Gorgeous day in the Bay Area. The regular season's complete. It's day 1 of the 2016 NBA playoffs. Curry for 3. Curry, open look. Curry, long 3.
Steph had 20 points in one half in the first game against Houston. That 2016 postseason was going to be a coronation for Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, but more specifically Steph Curry. He was, I think, going to average just obscene amounts of points, efficiencies, assists, whatever you think matters. I think he was going to blow guys out of the water. And then he slipped on that wet spot.
He's not up yet, still time remaining. Ariza trying to find some room. Curry falls down and grabs his right leg. Curry asking for help to get up. He fell awkwardly and immediately grabbed his right leg, and you see him hobbling right now.
It was rough. I think that, I know that affected Steph. He wasn't able to move the same. All you had to do is watch. You don't need to be a doctor. All you need to do is just watch Steph. And anybody that plays basketball at any level knows that he wasn't the same guy after that.
You go through the year before and it was all just upside. At no point when rooting for an underdog do you feel the pressure of the win. With their regular season success, there was a very strange pressure of, we gotta actually finish this journey. And when Steph went down in that series was one of the first times where you started feeling vulnerability and like maybe it won't happen.
The 2016 NBA Finals would feature a rematch between Golden State and the Eastern Conference champion Cavaliers. Unlike the previous year, Cleveland entered the finals with their roster fully intact, as All-Stars Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love were both healthy and ready to make for a more even series. Oracle Arena would once again host home court on the game's brightest stage.
An epic 7-game series begins tonight with Game 1.
Curry the mismatch. Curry the 3. Iguodala on the follow. The Warriors have 6 players in double figures. Livingston again. Lowest scoring game of the season for Thompson and Curry combined. Yet they win by 15. Warriors take Game 1, courtesy of their bench. We are set to go for Game 2. Cleveland trying to bounce back from just their 3rd loss of these playoffs. Here comes Curry for 3. As Green hits a 3. Draymond Green's second 3-pointer. Draymond Green lighting it up. He's got 15. Inside Livingston. Back out Barbosa. Up top, Thompson for 3. Pucks it in. Golden State. What an impressive performance. And they'll take a 2-0 lead in these NBA Finals.
The Warriors had set the tone early for the series, The team's defense had held Kyrie and LeBron to some of their lowest numbers of the postseason, and an all-around contribution offensively had resulted in 2 dominant wins. However, despite the team's success, an underlying concern would come from the reigning league MVP. Over these games, Curry had only averaged 14 points on just 44% shooting, down significantly from his regular season numbers. It was obvious that something wasn't right. As the series headed east to Cleveland, Game 3 would see the home team pick up their first win of the series, handing Golden State their worst loss of the postseason. The Cavaliers had looked unstoppable on their home floor, but just as they had done all season long, the defending champs would respond in Game 4.
Curry steps back. Another 3 for Curry, his second of the game. Kyrie Irving. Oohs and ahs from the crowd. Green racing up the floor. Thompson for 3. Puts it in. Stolen by James. And James lays it in. Pass to Iguodala. Back to Curry. Curry fakes, drives off the glass. It's good. Stephen Curry.
You gotta remember Game 4, Steph goes for 38. He gets off in Game 4, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, this is it right here. That's all. And at the end of Game 4 was when LeBron, one of the smartest players of all time, purposely steps over Draymond. And as we can tell with Draymond nowadays, completely loses it.
Green and James jawing at each other while play continues. Iguodala the pull-up. That won't go. And a double foul is going to be called.
Draymond Green has been suspended for Game 5 for making a retaliatory swipe of his hand to the groin of LeBron James in Game 4, resulting in a flagrant foul 1.
Draymond just, he said something that I don't agree with. I'm all cool with the competition. I'm all fine with that, but some of the words that came out of his mouth was a little bit overboard.
He doesn't get suspended for that. He actually gets suspended for the point system because Draymond had been messing around all postseason and he had accrued so many penalty points that the next time he got a flagrant 2 or flagrant 1, whatever it was, he was going to get suspended. Honestly, it was genius in part of LeBron. It's not basketball, but it's basketball, right? You got to play it. You got to play it somehow, some way.
I do believe firmly that the Warriors win the series in 5 if the Draymond Green suspension doesn't happen. That, in my opinion, was egregious.
I don't regret reacting the way I reacted in the moment, because the only reason I can't promise you that I wouldn't react that way, because if somebody steps over my shoulder, I'm naturally going to try to get you off my shoulder. That's just who I am. And so I can't promise you that I wouldn't react the same way. But what I do know is I think LeBron coaxed me into that. And I know for sure today he couldn't coax me into that.
The series flips. It flips because at Game 5, that baby's over.
Well, they say closeout games are the toughest ones to win. For Golden State, made a little tougher. James fakes, James drives, James finishes, and the foul. James jumper. Again, LeBron James has the perimeter game going. Steps back, tries another 3. That's good, LeBron James.
Kyrie and LeBron just completely rise to the occasion.
I've never seen 2 guys play at that level
for 3 straight
games. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Irving slides inside. Thompson right with him. Irving, bank shot is good, and a foul. A sensational offensive talent. Nearly falls, drives now, spins back, tough fall-away shot, it's good. Kyrie Irving. Another brilliant shot, it's a 10-point lead.
It's one of the greatest performances offensively I've ever seen in the finals by Kyrie Irving.
What a road victory for the Cleveland Cavaliers as the NBA Finals will return to Cleveland on Thursday night.
While it may have seemed like just the delaying of the inevitable to some, there was something different about this loss for Golden State. Cleveland walked out of Oracle Arena that night a different team, and suddenly the series felt far from finished.
And here in this city, They're saying this is the biggest game in franchise history and one of the biggest nights in the city's sports history as they try to keep alive their dream of bringing a championship to the city of Cleveland. James on the throwdown. Curry launches long three, knocks it down. Steph Curry with his fourth three-pointer. Alley-oop to Thompson. Throws it ahead to Smith. Smith, alley-oop to James. Finishing touches on a magnificent performance. Game 7, Sunday night in Oakland.
Although Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson had been able to combine for 55 points, with Curry having his second 30-point performance of the series, it was Cleveland who had once again stayed on the relentless attack, forcing a winner-takes-all Game 7. In what would be the most watched NBA Finals game since Michael Jordan's final game as a Bull in 1998, Stephen Curry and the Warriors traveled back across the country for a final showdown in Oracle Arena against the Cavaliers. What they would witness would be a heavyweight battle between a team desperate to make history and a team desperate to prevent it.
Comes out Smith, pass right through the hands of Curry. James, a two-handed slam. Green tries another three. Draymond Green, 4 for 4 from downtown. Green looking to post up, makes his quick move, stops underneath. Layup was good, and one. James on the drive, foul, layup, counted and one. LeBron James, another attack to the basket. Curry, pass deflected and stolen. Here comes Irving. Irving drives past Green, the foul, shot's good, and one. Oh, and a sweet move from Kyrie Irving. Curry's got Tristan Thompson on. Curry, crossover, three-pointer, it's good. Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
I think that I never thought that the Warriors would lose, all the way up until Steph missed that three against Kevin Love.
Curry fakes the three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three.
If there's like one play, like I know I should have done something different, it's that one. There's way more time on the clock than I thought. Me trying to answer Kyrie's three over me was kind of in my head, and you force up a shot, and you kind of lose momentum, and they win on your home floor.
It's over! It's over! Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
The 2016 NBA Finals was probably my darkest moment as a sports fan.
It's one of the only memories I have during the dynastic run where I'm not excited to talk about it.
That great season has what next to it? Did not win the NBA championship. That's what sucks. I guarantee you they would much rather have not had as many, not had the record and won a championship than have that happen to them.
Do we regret going after 73 wins because we may have flamed out in the finals? No, like that was an amazing accomplishment. We knew we could do that and go, win another ring, and we were right there, obviously. So everybody thought 72-9 was untouchable, and we got it. So that's the beauty of the league. Like it just keeps getting better and better.
73 wins. I don't think anyone's going to ever touch that. But sadly, the ending happened, and that's where we are.
After blowing a 3-1 series lead to the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, the Thunder's season is now done, and the question becomes, what's next for Kevin Durant?
He does not want to be Patrick Ewing. He doesn't want to be one of the greats of his era who only plays in one finals and never wins a ring.
The Golden State Warriors aren't exactly having the best week, but adding Kevin Durant to its roster could brighten up their offseason. Durant is currently the biggest free agent prize in the NBA, and the newest rumors suggest he could opt to join Golden State if he decides to leave Oklahoma City.
We went out there to the Hamptons, and we
met with him, and part of it was we knew who we were as a unit and knew what kind of person he was, and obviously his skill set is unmatched, and so it makes sense. Let's go get this dude.
Played with Steph and Andre at World Championships, and being an All-Star game with the whole Warriors staff, and Draymond and Clay. I just felt like they just meshed so well together, and it just seemed effortless. It was kind of organic, and I felt that when I met those guys and started talking to them a little bit more the last few days. So it just seems like a perfect fit personality-wise, man. I was excited I got an opportunity to get to know them on a different level.
The news again coming in moments ago, Kevin Durant heading to the Golden State Warriors.
Well, I'm viewing it as the weakest move I've ever seen from a superstar. Plain and simple. That's just how I look at it. You depart for the team that beat you when you're on the cusp of getting to the finals yourself or ultimately winning the championship for the franchise that you've been with since you've come into the NBA.
Today, we got a villain. Kevin Durant now is a villain. We're in the drama business. Right. This is great for the NBA.
My initial reaction to KD signing to the Warriors was, is he serious? When that move happened, coming out of those NBA Finals losses, I honestly forgot about the Finals loss. I was like, that's fine. That's fine. We'll sacrifice one loss to win 3 and 4 and 5.
That summer, KD's July 1st, whatever. I think maybe 3-4 weeks after that, Drake was performing at Oracle. So we go to the concert. It's like me and Draymond. I think KD was there. So Drake's performing, and he gets on this lift that takes him around the arena so you can kind of see the fans and have that moment. So as he's going around, he sees us down there, but doesn't really acknowledge it. He goes past, and he's like, "Oh, we're in Oracle Arena. That was a tough year. Man, y'all got Steph, Draymond, KD now. Oh, number 11." We all start laughing. It was like he was just in the moment. My brother was with us, so Seth's with us, and after we get in the car on the way home, he's like, man, y'all cheating.
And Booker will get the freebie. No! Durant saved it! Curry 3. Curry on the go. Durant, another deflection and steal. Curry throws it up to Durant, who throws it down with a right hand.
It wasn't a fantasy basketball team, right? It wasn't two people who were phenomenal at what they do, doing things separately. They're legendary skill sets that we're talking, maybe probably top 10 of all time individually. Collectively was one of the, top 2, top 3 duos of all time.
Trying to go cross court, it got it to Durant, back to Curry, who fires from down.
Watching Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant play together is like watching a movie. It's borderline unfair, especially at the time when they were both in their 20s, and just completely dominating anyone who got in their path.
I think people really wanted them to do the, hey, it's your turn, my turn. But that wasn't the case. And when he fit into that system, the Warriors, to me, became the greatest team of all time.
Great crossover by Durant, and Looney will get the benefit of the flash. Oh, Curry reverse! The Houdini left hand! Beautiful pass, Durant on the bounce! Oh, diving up the guitar!
Basketball, in my mind, has always been a lot like music. I could take 5 of the greatest individual musicians of all time. Just because they're all good individually doesn't mean that they could do that thing together. And that Steph and KD could take this individual excellence that you do not see, and then do it together and elevate each other was just a pleasure.
It's time for the Portland Trailblazers facing off against the Golden State Warriors. Hustles a rebound. Durant crossover, finishes. Lillard gets past Durant, drives. Oh, blocked by Green. He did it again. Pulls it back and fires. Yes.
they would come out in these games, even playoff games, and they would just say, hey, we're just going to end it right now. They go out there in Portland. It was game 4. And they go out there and say, yeah, we don't want to go home. We're not going to play game 5. We're just going to go ahead and we're just going to end the game. They scored like 50 points in the first quarter. I mean, they win that game by like 30.
This is game 1, Western Conference semifinals. As Curry does his magic, gets by Gobert, scores. Rejected off the glass. Here comes Curry. Curry steps into a three-pointer, puts it in. Durant, three-pointer. It's good. Kevin Durant from downtown. Durant drives inside and finishes. Curry draws the foul, gets the roll, and will head to the free throw line. Curry against Aldridge, flips it up. Oh, beautiful ball handling from Curry. Durant drives inside and finishes. As the Warriors are headed to the NBA Finals for the 3rd consecutive year.
I think we're going to have a lot of conversation about just how they rank all time, and you might want to put them at the top.
It's the matchup most NBA fans expected. It's the matchup many NBA fans wanted to see. The Cavaliers and the Warriors once again. Steph Curry and the Warriors want redemption after the collapse in last year's NBA Finals. Curry's got Tristan Thompson on him. Fakes, drives, layup. Oh, it's good. Off the glass. Curry, deep three. Puts it in. Durant fouled. Shot goes in and one. James trying to harass Curry. Curry off the dribble. Layup off the glass. The fall rebound Durant. Incredible opportunity. Durant for 3. It's good. Kevin Durant from downtown. And Golden State takes the lead. Curry, 3. Bang! There it is. Redemption for Golden State. One of the great playoff runs of all time is complete.
So many instances in that 17 postseason that the Warriors just turned up and said, hey, this is over.
You had to remind yourself to enjoy that kind of excellence. The Warriors might win another title. I expect them to. I think Steph still has some greatness to play out. But will they have another 16-1 run? You know, will they have some scenario where all we expect is dominance? No. You know, that's a real unusual situation and one we got to enjoy.
When you come off a championship run, you go through the offseason, everybody's hyping y'all up, celebrating all that. You come back to training camp, everybody's excited to be back, and then you're like, oh, it's 82 games before the games that matter.
18 was a little bit more of a struggle, but I think talent wins out. I think that was where it showed you, not so much like, hey, how much of a great team they were. I think 18 showed you just how talented they were.
Durant in full flight. A 2-on-1 for Golden State, up high and down hard. It's Curry. Wallace is on him. Got by Rivers. Good if it goes. Of course, a sellout crowd in this raucous arena. Home of the defending champion Golden State Warriors. They begin their quest for another title against the San Antonio Spurs. Thompson, Iguodala, wide open for 3. It's good. Draymond Green at a layup, finds Thompson at the 3. Brings it across, pumps it, yes! 3 pointers for Steph Curry. On the drive, count it, and the foul. Holiday tried to wrap him up. Curry tried to work behind screens. Picked up here by Harden, shoots over. And it hits! Curry over Gordon. Yes! Oh, he wants this shot right here. Oh, he makes a move and scores! The Golden State Warriors are on their way to a 4th consecutive NBA final. Curry and Durant. Curry throws it up. Durant throws it down. Fouls to give for Cleveland. Ahead to Curry. Curry sets, fires, puts it up. Bang! Steph Curry from way downtown. Shot clock winding down. Curry's going to have to put it up, launches it up. Oh, he knocks it down! There's the buzzer. There's a new dynasty in the NBA. The Golden State Warriors champions once again. Back-to-back titles, 3 in 4 years. And the latest with a sweep.
Sports fans are not entitled to dynasties, man. I didn't think I was ever going to have one in my life. And that they ushered one in is nothing short of special.
I think 18 proved to us the margin of error for that team was insurmountable. Insurmountable. The only way you're beating this team, guys get hurt. It's the only way.
Ibaka trying to stay with Durant, knocks it away, and Durant slipping. Durant goes down holding his leg. Ibaka goes up and is fouled down the other end. And Durant grabbing that right leg. His teammates going over to check on him.
We saw the shortcomings of a team that was built around a super team, right? I think that first year, I think you could argue that, they had a ton of really good, still in their prime playmakers and role players. By the time you had gotten to 2019, the Warriors had really nothing left. Nothing left outside of those top 3-4 guys.
Lowry gets past, falls down, lost the ball. Thompson running the floor, and a foul. And Thompson grabs his left knee, now writhing in pain. Steph Curry slamming the ball on the court, so upset. And everybody for the Warriors and the franchise and here in the stands holding their breath. Now the Warriors just inbound, and that's it. There's a new NBA champion, and it's a team from Toronto, Canada. We, the North, are now we, the champions. The Raptors, the 2019 NBA champs.
After the 2019 NBA Finals, it was hard not to think that things were ending.
Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that Kevin Durant is in fact headed to Brooklyn.
I view the Golden State Warriors as being a playoff team. They're not going to fall off the radar, but I don't think they're winning a title anytime soon, and that means the dynasty is over.
Klay Thompson had just tore his ACL, who's going to be out for a while. Look up and down the roster, and just like, man, how are they going to figure this out?
A portion of you wanted to almost become reflective. We still believed in the team and still believed we have talent, but we didn't have the talent on the floor yet. And so you could neither move on or really get a sense of where they were. You didn't know they're going to come screaming back the next year or if this really was the end.
For 5 straight years, Stephen Curry had been at the center of basketball's greatest show. The Golden State Warriors had become a dynasty, 5 straight NBA Finals, 3 championships, and a style that changed the sport forever. But in the summer of 2019, it all came crashing down.
With a lot of contact. And he's holding that left wrist. We already saw Steph tweak his ankle. He is not moving that left wrist right now. That is the absolute last thing in the world that they need right now. He's up.
Warriors will be playing without Steph Curry for a while. The star point guard broke his left hand during a hard fall under the basket last night.
Does this Steph news kind of change how you coach and view what's ahead?
I literally just found out 5 minutes ago. So it's we'll meet tomorrow as a staff. We'll watch film with the team, and we'll be able to discuss all that stuff. But we've obviously it's been a tough start for us on many levels. So we're just trying to find our footing, and obviously this puts us in a tough spot. So we'll assess it and we'll go from there.
This season is now lost with the Golden State Warriors. I know he probably had aspirations of playing at MVP level, of showing everybody he can lift this team to the playoffs, along with Draymond Green, adding D'Angelo Russell. That's not going to happen.
This is the Warriors' worst nightmare.
Everybody is in stunned disbelief in that locker room right now. This is the exact same feeling that players and coaches had after Game 5 of the finals in Toronto after Kevin Durant tore his Achilles.
After breaking his hand just 5 games into the 2020 season, Stephen Curry and the Warriors looked much different entering 2021. The previous season had been the first time in nearly a decade the NBA existed without him. There were no celebrations, no viral moments. The league had moved on, and the Warriors had fallen to the bottom of the standings.
Draymond, what is this like for you without Steph out there now?
Different. Obviously, Steph draws a lot of attention on the offense side of the ball. He brings leadership to the table for us, and it was a different challenge.
For most stars, this could have been seen as the beginning of the end, an era of dominance fading quietly into the background. But for Stephen Curry, the silence was just an intermission. When Stephen Curry finally returned for the 2020-2021 season, the franchise around him had completely changed. Kevin Durant was gone, chasing a new chapter in Brooklyn, and backcourt mate Klay Thompson, who had been set to return from his devastating ACL tear, experienced a setback courtesy of one of the game's most tragic injuries.
The Warriors just confirmed star Klay Thompson has a season-ending torn Achilles.
Thompson suffered a right leg injury while working out in Southern California yesterday. This morning, an MRI confirmed it is a torn Achilles. The Warriors say he is expected to miss the upcoming season, but a source tells ESPN Thompson has been told to expect he will make a full recovery. He already missed last season following an ACL tear to his left knee.
Suddenly, Stephen Curry was on his own again. A 33-year-old superstar who had just 2 years prior commanded one of the most dominant teams in the history of the sport was now surrounded by inexperienced rookies and role players. The expectations were modest. The Warriors were supposed to be rebuilding for the franchise's next chapter. But Stephen Curry had no interest in rebuilding. He was coming to remind the world who he was.
Hornets made a run in the first half at the end of the first quarter, the beginning of the second quarter. Hornets bench was more productive than the Warriors bench. Curry, oh man, classic Steph Curry.
Steph one more time for the advantage. Good! If at first you don't succeed, you know what they say. Try again.
Game clock, Curry. Working against none. Lets the three go. Scores it! Steph with a huge...
7 months of lifting weights. Something's got to happen. I'm feeling good, man. Definitely taking advantage of the time. Looking forward to this new year. You know, despite obviously, you know, the fortunate situation with Klay, you know, we still feel, you know, like we're a threat to be dealt with.
Oh, Curry was going to pull back. Flip to Wiseman! Oh, get ready to watch that the next couple years. Played the D, and it was Wiggins doing it. Wiggins on the sprint out. Did well to catch that. John Wall said, not Curry behind his back. Flip it up and in. Draw the foul.
Showtime. And you sense Curry and the Warriors moving in for a little bit of a kill here. Steph in his bag. Deep, like the fries were at the bottom.
On January 3rd, 2021, Stephen Curry would do something he had yet to accomplish in his storied career. Facing the Portland Trail Blazers, Steph would drop 62 points, the highest mark of his career.
Then Steph off a made three, reversing it up and in. Oh, Curry, what a first quarter. This brilliant offense, they're going to make noise in the West. Curry around Covington, past Nurkic, lay it up and in. They had the technical free throw in the three-point play. Curry right down the lane. How about that? And Steph is running into the front court. Draymond finds him, another three. Got it! 62! 62! And he actually surpasses his buddy Klay Thompson.
Only a handful of players in league history have scored over 60 points, and even fewer had done it at the point guard position. In fact, Steph was only the 5th point guard in NBA history to pass the mark. The feat represented more than just a new career high for the game's greatest marksman. It represented the resilience of a player who had begun making his case as one of the greatest to ever play. After all of the injuries, the rise and seemingly fall of a dynasty, and the doubts surrounding his current place in the league, Curry had shown the world that he was still the top point guard in the NBA.
It was one crazy hot night for a guy who can get crazy hot. I still have a hard time wrapping my head around it. I still wonder, did it really happen? Because even for that guy, that's virtually impossible, and he did it. That's Ripley's believe it or not.
Well, it just reminded me that this is the greatest shooter since mankind existed.
And from that point on, Stephen Curry would put together one of the most incredible individual stretches of his career.
Hornets bench was more productive than the Warriors bench. Curry, oh man, classic Steph Curry.
To your chagrin, that was it? Oh, how did Steph make that?
He changed his mind.
How did he make that? What's that? He draws the foul here, so he heard the whistle, 180'd, and then flipped it in.
Who does that? He's not from here. He's different.
Even at All-Star Weekend, he reminded everyone what he does best, taking home the three-point contest trophy in vintage fashion. Curry's dominance in 2021 would reach its peak in the final 3 months of the season. In the month of April, Stephen averaged 37.3 points per game across 15 games, one of the best scoring months by any player in the past 50 years. At one point during the stretch, he had 11 games of 30 or more points, the longest streak of his career.
He's a keeper, and what you want to do as a coach is tell him, don't tease me. This is the way you've got to play every single night.
Oh, Curry!
Follow-up.
3 seconds to go. Curry from deep. Knocks it down with a second to go.
Curry for the final seconds. He didn't want to go to the basket.
No, I mean, he's dancing around. What are you going to do about this? That's a great contest from
UVA. Steph Curry.
From mind-blowing shot making to otherworldly stat production, it was the purest form of Stephen Curry basketball we'd ever seen. With the team seemingly being out of championship contention, away from the spotlight for the first time in years, the league witnessed an all-time great playing with a freedom he hadn't had in years. By the season's end, Curry would win the NBA scoring title for the second time in his career, averaging a career-high 32 points per game.
A little show and go, a little teardrop, and there is the scoring title for Steph Curry.
He did it while shooting 48% from the field and 42% from three, despite leading the league in shot attempts and defensive attention, a testament to the level of dominance that he reached. Steph's offensive output alone had been enough to keep the Warriors afloat during the regular season, and despite the team lacking experience and depth, Golden State would make its way into the NBA's new play-in tournament with hopes of securing a playoff berth. Curry would finish third in MVP voting behind Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, with many agreeing that had the team been a higher seed in the playoffs, there's a good chance Steph would have secured his third career MVP. From the outside, many saw the season as irrelevant. No championship chase or title contention, just a star lighting up empty arenas. However, in reality, that year might have been the most revealing of Steph's career, because it showed that his greatness wasn't just a product of a system surrounded by great players. It was self-sustaining. Curry had proven that he could carry a team on his own, doing so with an offensive workload that was similar to other of the game's great legends from the past. The success of the dynasty had already made him a legend, but from isolation scoring to his signature off-ball movement, Stephen Curry had shown that he wasn't just the greatest shooter the game had ever seen. He was one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball.
And that will do it. The Memphis Grizzlies are in the playoffs. They eliminate the Golden State Warriors.
Just didn't go our way. I don't know how many different ways to say it, but it was a special year, all things considered, and a new experience for me, Draymond Loon,
try to make the most of it. Come back, bottle this up, everybody make the right strides, take advantage of the summer, and you don't want to see us next year.
Two years removed from their loss in the 2019 NBA Finals, the expectations for Stephen Curry and Golden State had changed, or at least they had for everyone outside of the newly built Chase Center. You see, there are certain signs that signify the fall of a dynasty, conflict amongst the team's star players, career-changing injuries, the closing of a prime window. In some ways, the Warriors franchise had seen flashes of all three. And now, after finishing with the league's worst record in 2020, they had failed to make the playoffs for a second straight season after being bounced from the play-in game by the Grizzlies a year prior. Questions began to arise about whether or not Stephen Curry was capable of once again leading his team to a championship, especially after years of having the luxury of sharing a team with one of the most talented scorers the game has ever seen. After all, how could someone be an all-time great without adding an NBA Finals MVP to their resume? Curry heard all the noise, and he, as well as other members of the franchise in the Bay, knew that the core pieces were still intact, on pace to finally be healthy and able to share the floor together come playoff time. The development of the electric young guard Jordan Poole over the past year, return of former Finals MVP Andre Iguodala, and the addition of 2 lottery picks in Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody meant that the Warriors roster was retooled and finally ready to make some noise just in time for the NBA's 75th anniversary season.
You know, our culture remains the same, and everything that we do on the court and how we play, it'll be probably pretty similar to years of past, where it highlights, you know, how different we are as a team, especially when me and Clay are out there and Draymond.
From the opening tip of the regular season, you could see there was a familiar fire behind these Golden State Warriors. They opened the first 20 games of the season with an 18-2 record, with Curry going off for 28 points per game over the stretch. This included a triple-double in an opening night win over LeBron James's Lakers and a 50-point, 10-assist explosion versus Atlanta that made him the oldest player to ever put up the stat line. Steph had faced his share of criticism since the team's collapse in the 2019 Finals, and coming off one of the best statistical seasons of his career the previous season, was on a mission to prove that he was still playing at a 2-time MVP level.
It's just incredible to watch Steph. I think his greatness is at the level now where we just expect it. Maybe that's the true measure of greatness, when a guy can hit 9 or 10 threes and you don't even bat an eye, because you've seen it before and you know you're going to see it again.
After weeks of build-up, a crowning moment of the regular season and his career came on December 14th, 2021.
The three-point record has always been something I've looked at and kept track of and understand, the longevity that is required to reach those heights. What Ray Allen has done, stretching the imagination of what it means to shoot the three-pointer and make it a pivotal and important part of your game. I've taken that confidence and run with it.
We all talk about, who's the GOAT? And the reality is it's all subjective. But the one thing that isn't subjective when you talk to anyone is who's the greatest shooter ever. There is no debate.
On the cusp of history, the Golden State Warriors find themselves in New York City at Madison Square Garden, as Steph Curry is now 2 away from setting the all-time three-point mark. Ray Allen is here, who's the current record holder for the most threes in NBA history. Reggie Miller is here. Steph's dad is here. It's just a sort of a celebratory mood here tonight.
So Steph to tie it. There it is.
I knew he would make his first one.
He equals Ray Allen very quickly. Barely took a minute and stands on the doorstep of history right now. There's that cross screen again to Wiggins. Steph, 3. There it is. NBA three-point history. Stephen Curry stands alone as the most dominant distance shooter the game has ever seen. 2,974 threes and counting.
I don't got much to say besides I appreciate everybody that's had a part in me being who I am on the court, off the court.
Like, this is a career milestone because of everybody that I got to suit up with, everybody that set screens for me, everybody that passed me the ball, everybody that believed in our offense and believed in winning in the process. So this is truly special, man. To know I watched Ray when he passed Reggie in Boston and to have this moment at the Garden. This number right here has been on my mind for a long time, so I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it, and just know that I'm the greatest three-point shooter in the history of the league. That's pretty special to say. I'm finally ready to say it, baby. Let's go.
The new year brought some exciting moments for the Warriors, none bigger than the return of Steph's longtime splash brother Klay Thompson after being away from the game for 941 days.
He went to reach, and Klay down the lane!
I think he's healthy. Yo!
Finally having one of the game's great backcourts reunited, the Warriors were able to continue to build chemistry throughout the early months of the year and into the All-Star break, with the NBA's most exciting weekend being held in Curry's birth city of Cleveland, a place where he had experienced some legendary finals battles. The writing was on the wall for a big performance from the 8-time All-Star, and he would deliver one of the most memorable nights in the event's history.
It's on the list. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. I had a few flashback nightmares. Everyone out here oohing and on with him. He's already got
This is the kid keep up another
And the key MVP, to its only fitting, one of the NBA's 75 all-time greats, Steph Curry.
See, this trophy has a very special meaning, honoring Kobe, Gigi, everybody that was lost 2 years ago. So very humbled, very blessed, and I really appreciate it.
Following the buzz around Steph's big night, the Warriors cooled off down the final stretch of the season. Despite the team's championship core still being intact, they were dealing with a crucial injury to their glue guy Draymond Green, and experienced the growing pains that come with incorporating so many new pieces into the fold. As Golden State continued trying to build chemistry, on March 16th against the Boston Celtics, they would be hit with another devastating blow.
Now the Warriors being kind of grimy defensively.
But Marcus Smart saves the possession, but again Tatum drops it.
Yeah, so here it is right here. Steph and Marcus are going for the loose ball. Marcus dives, and he goes right into Steph's knee.
In order to be healthy come playoff time, Stephen Curry would miss the final 12 games of the regular season, in which Golden State would go 5-7 to end the year. Despite the rough ending, the Warriors still managed to finish with a 53-29 record, good enough for third best in the West. Curry would finish the year with his 8th All-NBA selection, averaging 25 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds per game, and led the NBA in three-pointers made for the 7th time in his career. Golden State now turned their attention to the postseason, with their trio of Curry, Thompson, and Draymond all finally being set to be active and sharing the floor for the first time since the 2019 Finals. Only this time, the mission was to once again bring gold home to the Bay. Round 1 would see the Warriors match up with soon-to-be back-to-back MVP Nikola Jokic and the 6th-seeded Denver Nuggets. Curry was set to make his return in Game 1, but was regulated to a role off the bench for the first time in his playoff career, playing with a minutes restriction to err on the side of caution. This opened the door for Jordan Poole to make his playoff debut as a starter, in which he'd explode for 30 points in a 123-107 win in Game 1. It was clear the Nuggets just didn't have the firepower to hang with the high-scoring offensive attack of Golden State, as the Warriors began experimenting with a deadly small ball lineup that included Curry, Poole, Klay, first-time All-Star Andrew Wiggins, and Draymond Green at the 5. The fast-paced scoring would lead to Steph dropping 34 points in 22 minutes off the bench in a Game 2 win. And once he returned to the starting lineup, Golden State would complete the gentleman's sweep, winning the series 4-1. Round 2 would be Golden State's greatest challenge yet, as they faced a team they knew all too well following their elimination the previous year. The young Memphis Grizzlies had been on a tear during the regular season, earning the 2 seed after riding the momentum of rising star Ja Morant, matchup nightmare Jaren Jackson Jr., and a group of gritty role players. This would be the first playoff series that the Warriors didn't have home court advantage since the 2018 Western Conference Finals against Houston. But Golden State would enter Game 1 with revenge on their minds.
But he's got to take it personal if they're going to defend him with a small perimeter guy. Oh, Gary Payton with the flush. Goes right at Bane. Curry, step back three. It's good. Steph Curry with his 5th three-pointer. Inbound to Thompson. Thompson fakes. Fires three-pointer. Bang! Klay Thompson from downtown.
They would complete a 117-116 win in Memphis, led by a 31-point performance by Jordan Poole off the bench. Curry and Morant had combined for 58 points, going back and forth in a contest that showcased a battle of the present and future at the point guard position. Despite taking the loss, Ja, who had been a force all season long, gave the Warriors a front row seat to his growing greatness in Game 2.
7 to shoot. Morant looking for a runaway. Now a step back for Morant. Yes! Memphis leads by 1. Switch. Now he's got Poole. The shake. Gets the roll. Dazzling.
It's a tough feeling, but we understand the big picture. You know, we got one, take care of our home court on Saturday. You have to learn the lessons you need to learn. We know we're ready for it, and we're ready to bounce back and get ready for the game on Saturday.
Golden State had still been able to steal home court advantage for the series, and in Game 3, showcased exactly why they still belonged at the top of the Western Conference. Golden State would pull off a convincing 30-point win, with Curry dropping 30 along with a combined 48 points from Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole. An injury to Morant in the 4th quarter would all but seal the fate of the Grizzlies for the rest of the series, as Golden State would win 2 of the next 3, including 34 and 29-point daggers from Stephen to send Memphis home in 6.
We can continue to build on this as we look forward to the next round, no matter who we play. So not lost in this journey is the fact that we're still trying to peak at the right time. It's an exciting time to get past this series and look forward to what's coming next.
Golden State's matchup in the conference finals would be an unexpected but deserving opponent, as the 4th-seeded Dallas Mavericks had shocked everyone, beating the defending Western champs and number 1 seed Phoenix Suns in 7 games the previous round. Luka Doncic had already proven to be one of the game's elite players, and now was looking to add a trip to the NBA Finals on his already growing list of accolades. The Warriors came out firing from the opening tip in Game 1, handing the Mavericks a loss in back-to-back games in the Chase Center to open the series. But it was Game 3, the first game in Dallas, that Stephen Curry would demonstrate the level of play that separates champions from the rest.
Curry takes a handoff, accelerates front court, gets all the way inside hand, up and good, and a foul. Curry left corner with the shot, it's up and splash! Warriors retake the lead. 3, Steph got it! Oh, what a shot! He is ruthless. Curry at 3, bullseye!
Was that shimmy to you or for me?
To you.
Okay.
To you.
The Mavericks would respond with a win of their own in Game 4. But similar to Round 1, Golden State would answer with a 10-point win to eliminate Dallas in 5. Stephen Curry's performance earned him the inaugural Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP award, the first elusive postseason MVP trophy of his career.
This is a blessing. Obviously, it's a team effort to get back here with Draymond said, for us to be out the mix for the last 2 years and to be where we belong back in the finals. This is special. Our fan base, to do it in this new building. This isn't the ultimate goal, but we got to celebrate this because all we went through these last 3 years. So
earning a 6th finals appearance in 8 years, the first led solely by Curry since 2016, there was a legacy on the line in the 2022 NBA Finals, and Stephen was ready to respond.
Solid hardware, baby. We're going back to the ship where we belong, 4 more wins.
58 years. That's how long it had been since Wilt Chamberlain's Philadelphia Warriors met Bill Russell's Boston Celtics in the 1964 NBA Finals. A lot has changed about the game of basketball in the decades since then, but it was only fitting for two of the NBA's most historic teams to match up in the championship series of the league's 75th anniversary. The Boston Celtics had quite possibly the most difficult road to the finals in recent memory, having to go through the Kevin Durant-led Brooklyn Nets in round 1, the defending NBA champion Bucks in round 2, and the number 1 seeded Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. Following a first-team All-NBA selection at only 23 years old, Jason Tatum had emerged as a top player in the league over the course of the playoffs, winning the first ever Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He, along with fellow All-Star Jaylen Brown and Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart, made the Celtics a dangerous opponent for Curry and the Warriors on the game's biggest stage.
I got the sense from you last summer that you believed you could be here then. What was it that you saw or believed that made you feel like the team you had could be here?
You could feel like we were close to being in that conversation where you're a serious contender to come out of the West. And then coming into this year, like I still was surprised by our start, like I said, but that was the gas in the tank for the whole summer and for the start of this year, knowing that we were going to be a problem this year. And we got 4 more wins to make it all worth it, but it's a good feeling.
One has been the NBA's golden standard for a decade. The other is the game's original monarchy. They will make the next chapter of NBA history together.
Game 1 saw the Warriors get off to a hot start, with Stephen Curry playing at a level that the game hadn't seen in over 2 decades.
They leave Curry all alone, and that's Leaper. Deadly. And Steph with a little bit of pace into the front court. Behind the screen, Steph Curry locked in. He's on the board. Williams looks at that three, and he laces it. Curry behind the screen. Oh, they lost him again. And he makes them pay. He's hotter than fish grease.
Curry's historic 21-point first quarter was the most scored in a single quarter of a finals game since Michael Jordan in 1993. But the resilient Celtics stayed close throughout the second quarter and found themselves with the lead as the two teams headed into halftime. The third quarter had belonged to the Warriors all postseason long, and this night would be no different, as Golden State would win the quarter 38-24 to take a 12-point lead. However, it was Boston, who had been resilient all season long, that went on a historic run in the fourth to shock the basketball world.
To Horford for the lead. Boston up by 3. Al Horford in his first NBA Finals. An 11-0 run for Boston. Brown on the baseline. Horford inside. Counted and one. Celtics take game 1 of the 2022 NBA Finals.
In one of the most surprising upsets in recent finals history, the Celtics had handed the Warriors their first home loss of the playoffs, stealing home court advantage and putting the pressure on Golden State for a must-win game 2.
It's not ideal, but believe in who we are, how we responded all year, how we responded in the playoffs after a loss. So learned a lot from that fourth quarter. Obviously, they made a lot of shots. We know they're a good team, so are we. We got to respond on Sunday.
After failing to capitalize on a 34-point statement from Curry to open the series, and facing the possibility of traveling to Boston down 0-2, the Warriors were fully aware of the stakes involved with Game 2, and adjusted their game plan accordingly. Determined to slow down the Celtics' role players' hot shooting, Golden State's defensive intensity was noticeably high, no one more so than the former MVP himself. Stephen Curry would have one of the most impressive defensive performances of his career, holding his own in ISO situations and coming up with 3 steals over the course of the night. On the offensive end, he would continue his aggressive attack, scoring 29 points and knocking down 5 threes to help bury the Celtics 107-88. While getting the win relieved some pressure, it didn't completely solve the Warriors' problems, and they knew they had to steal back one of the 2 games in Boston to regain their chances of winning the series.
Must-win game, we knew that. Claw our way back into the series, give us some life, and now we get to take the show on the road and try to go win one in Boston. We have to, so it's a good night.
As expected, the Celtics were ready to defend TD Garden in Game 3, with Tatum, Brown, and Smart all combining for 77 points to help Boston go up 2-1. Curry had come up with another big night, dropping 31 points and playing a big part in another large third quarter for Golden State. But foul trouble had led to an extended stay on the bench early in the fourth quarter, allowing the Celtics to pull away late.
The situation is what it is. We're on the road, must-win game, Game 4. We had a must-win game after a tough one in Game 1, and we got Game 2. So the flow, we still feel like we obviously can win the series, and we got to come out with the right intensity and focus in Game 4.
He's meant so much for our team, the whole Bay Area. He's the reason when things were bad that we still felt like we just got to keep working. We're going to figure it out because we still have Steph Curry.
Game 4 was once again seen by the Warriors as a must-win. Either they steal back home court with the momentum headed back to the Bay, or they find themselves faced with the notoriously difficult 3-1 deficit that has ended the championship hopes of many contenders. Boston's Garden was rocking from the opening tip, with everyone in the building knowing how pivotal the result would be for the rest of the series. Jason Tatum and the Celtics started the game strong, answering the Warriors' offense shot for shot in a close first quarter. However, it was Stephen Curry, normally known for his quiet demeanor, who had heard the talk from Boston fans in Game 3, and was determined to let them and the world know that this was his moment.
Back-to-back long-distance threes and a 5-point lead for the Warriors. Curry gets free. Gets some contact. Layup, got it, and one. Steph Curry felt the bump. Brown picks up his third. Got a chance for a 3-point play.
The Celtics had still managed to go on a run in the second quarter, following the lead of their 2 all-star wings on the way to a 6-point halftime lead. But from the moment the team stepped onto the parquet floor for the second half, it was Curry who would elevate his game to legendary status.
Curry launches a 3. It's good. Curry. It's good. Steph Curry from downtown. Curry again. Oh, Steph Curry from way downtown. He's furious. There was contact there.
Boston would try to stay within striking distance like they had in Game 1, but every time they would get close, it seemed like Steph had an answer, finding ways to score and letting the crowd know exactly what they were witnessing. As the final buzzer sounded, Curry had put on an all-time great performance, finishing with 43 points and 10 rebounds to tie the series headed back to the West Coast.
I know you won't say it, but we can. It looks like you are really just putting these guys on your back right now. I know your foot's not right. How are you doing it?
Been here 6 times. You got a lot of experience in terms of just staying composed, confident in what you can do. The endurance to be able to fight through the foot and just play my game for however many minutes I'm out there. But to win on the road and get home court advantage back, big for this group.
Special shout out Steph Curry, man. What a performance. My goodness. The guy is one of the greatest to ever run that point position. My goodness.
By any means necessary, baby. Back in the series.
As the first player in NBA Finals history to record a 40-point, 10 rebound, and 7 threes made stat line, Steph's Game 4 did more than just make a statement in the arena. It sent out a message to every fan, critic, and purist the game has to offer. Stephen Curry was not just capable of performing in the NBA Finals. He was out to prove that he's one of the best performers the game's biggest stage has ever seen. Even though the Celtics hadn't lost back-to-back games at any point in the postseason, the odds seemed to be swinging in the Warriors' favor as the series shifted back to Chase Center for Game 5. The confidence from their previous win clearly leaked over early on, with Golden State jumping out to a 24-8 lead with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Boston had made a name for themselves all season long with their ability to claw back into games, and despite the early deficit, would put together a huge second and third quarter to only trail by 1 heading into the fourth. Stephen Curry had struggled from beyond the arc throughout the game, and would eventually fail to hit a single three for the first time in his postseason career. But the attention the Celtics paid to him would open up opportunities all over the floor for his teammates. No Warrior saw this impact as much as Andrew Wiggins, who after having a big performance in Game 4, followed up with his best game of the postseason, scoring 26 points and continuing his elite defense down the stretch to help Golden State pull off a 104-94 win. The Warriors were now 1 win away from once again writing their name in history books.
Yeah! One more.
This is the moment for Steph to define and show everybody, I can carry a team to the top of the mountain and win a championship on my back.
I think they smell blood. I think that Steph Curry, I have a very hard time imagining he's going to even come close to duplicating his performance from Game 5. I think he's going to come there in Boston and play lights out for the second game in a row.
On June 16, 2022, the Golden State Warriors would step on the floor in Boston with the hopes of ending their season via an elimination Game 6. There was a heightened sense of urgency for the Celtics, who after overcoming 2 7-game series already in these playoffs, were fully prepared to stretch this series to its limit. The home team would come out firing, pulling ahead 12-2 early on in an attempt to shake the confidence of the Warriors. However, like champions do, Golden State would respond accordingly, and it would come in the form of a historic run unlike anything seen in the finals in the past 50 years.
Three-pointer right side is good. Draymond Green chips it out to Poole, and Poole nails the three. Poole pushes, finds Wiggins. Wiggins throws it down, and the Celtics need another timeout. Golden State scored 21 in a row.
The Warriors' 21-0 run forced the Celtics to play from behind the remainder of the contest, and although they would eat into the deficit slightly in the third quarter, it was Stephen Curry who would fittingly shut the door on Boston's championship hopes.
Curry sidestep, wide open three, got it. It's good. Steph Curry from downtown. Curry a long three. It's good. Steph Curry from way downtown. Some Curry chaos here in the third.
Behind Curry's 34 points, 22 of which came in the second half, Golden State had achieved what seemed to be impossible early in the series, defeating Boston in 3 straight games and once again earning themselves basketball's ultimate pride.
The emotion's just pouring out. It might be his 4th, but it means so much. It's over. The Golden State Warriors return to a familiar place. They're on top of the NBA world. The 4th title in 8 years. The Dubs dynasty is still very much alive.
Congratulations. You are the 2022 NBA champions. And for the first time ever, he's an NBA Finals MVP. The 2022 Bill Russell NBA Finals MVP award goes to Stephen Curry.
I'm happy for everybody, but I'm thrilled for Steph. To me, this is his crowning achievement in what's already been an incredible career.
A huge goal in all this is legacy, right? Is to sit back when it's all said and done and just look at the all-time greats and find where you fit in with all that. And if you can be in like the top 5, wherever, that's astounding. I mean, that is an achievement in life that very few human beings are ever going to be able to attain. I totally understand too why Steph and why so many other people consider 2022 to be the most special of the 4 titles. Just because Steph finally shut up all the haters, the remaining ones that were out there. It boosted his legacy, where he's now in a conversation with Magic Johnson as the greatest point guard ever. It's incredible how people look at him before and after those 2022 NBA Finals.
I think Steph himself feels that that was his greatest moment. To him, I think it felt, I get to prove to myself and everyone around me, the players, the fans, everyone, that I can win without KD to begin with. I can win with Kevin Durant, and then I can win myself after.
The Warriors now have done the arc in every possible way. They did it in the nobody possibly would see this coming. They were underdogs in that first title, and it's the Hoosier run. How the hell did they do this? Then they did it as the favorites. They were the Cobra Kai, and they won. You know, everybody hated them with Durant, and they didn't care. They shook it off. That last one was the, oh, you don't believe in us anymore. It's the end of the rank. Oh, you guys are too old, or this is past you. You know, you're never going to get back to where you were. And they completed it on that arc as well. You're lucky if you get 1 championship. To get 4, and for them to cover each one of those storylines is an impossibility.
Despite his long NBA career, Curry had never participated in the Olympics, repeatedly having to sacrifice the summer opportunity due to both injuries and the physical toll of deep postseason runs. It was a small price to pay for nearly a decade of NBA dominance. But in 2024, the stars aligned for Curry to finally don the red, white, and blue.
The stars had to align, obviously. Like, there's been 2 years, just the 1 year in 2016 where I wasn't physically right to go play.
And he was determined to add the final piece missing from his legacy.
The opportunity for Team USA to kind of reassert yourselves as dominant in the world and all that type of stuff. So definitely want to be there. Definitely want to be on the team.
Will it be different playing with Steph?
I know what Steph likes the ball. I know his game.
What does being in the Olympics for the first time mean to you?
It means everything. That's why I was so excited and honored to have the opportunity to do it. Having a first, it gets you, you feel like a kid again, and get the jitters before the first practice, and I'm sure I'll have it before the first game, and having the full Olympic experience. So it means the world.
I'm happy to be a part of, the men's senior national team once again. Being in Paris and being alongside, some greats, some of the greats that we've ever seen in Steph Curry, Kevin Durant.
Joining Team USA also meant teaming up with LeBron James, a rivalry turned partnership, as 2 of the greatest players of their generation would finally share the court on the world's biggest stage. Team USA's journey began with an intense training camp. With a roster full of superstars, the challenge was building the chemistry needed to compete at the highest level.
Chasing the gold, got a great team, Coach Kerr at the helm. It's gonna be a fun ride for sure.
It's really about executing together, finding good shots, and from one night to the next, we're gonna have different guys making shots, feeling comfortable, and we can ride any one of those guys on any given night.
Curry's leadership and unselfish play became crucial as the team worked to transform its individual talent into a united force.
This collection of guys that we have, everybody bring their egos, everybody bring their competitive spirit, but it's all about winning. Nobody's going to care about how many points you averaged in the Olympic Games. It's a matter of did your team win or not. I'm excited to be a part of it, and I'm excited for the challenge ahead.
In the lead up to the Olympics, Team USA faced a series of tough exhibition games.
Here we go, United States and Canada. How about this? Canadians up 11-1. Nice ball fake. Steph.
For Curry, these games were more than just preparation. They were a unique opportunity to play alongside the most talented roster of his career.
LeBron. Look at that. You saw that coming.
It's a test and it's a challenge to try to figure out, like Coach said, there's the chemistry, there's the flow and the rhythm, especially on offense, because there's a temptation to defer, there's a temptation to overthink every possession, because everybody can make a play, and when you have an advantage, you just try to keep the game as simple as possible.
Game by game, Curry and Team USA continued to find their rhythm on the floor, building chemistry and setting the stage for what was sure to be a historic Olympic campaign.
To try to continue to assert the dominance of Team USA basketball on the Olympic stage, it's everything you'd want. I'm just excited to just be in the moment, be in the present, and enjoy every minute of it.
With the world watching, Stephen Curry and Team USA began their quest for gold in Paris.
As long as all 12 of us are on that podium on August 10th and we are holding gold medals, I think everybody will say it was an experience that was well worth it.
The United States embarks on a journey for a potential 5th straight gold medal.
Facing a stacked field of competition, the most talented in the game's history, the journey would be anything but easy. But the US national team would demonstrate early on why they were seen as the favorites of the competition. In his first Olympic action, Curry would struggle at times to get his shot going. However, his leadership and playmaking ability would be on full display during the games. Everyone knew that Team USA would need Stephen at full strength to complete their mission, and it would be the semi-final matchup with Serbia where Wardell Stephen Curry would show the world he had arrived.
Clock winding down, Curry. Oh. Curry, he doesn't even need to look.
In the semi-final matchup, Curry delivered one of the greatest performances in FIBA basketball history, scoring 36 points with 9 threes to help secure a place for Team USA in the gold medal game.
We dug deep, then down 15 that late in the game. I think we were down with 15 with like 11 seconds to go in the third. We talked about each game, somebody have to step up. It might be your night, and he came and had the best night out of anybody the whole tournament. So incredible to watch him knock down shots to keep us afloat.
It didn't surprise me at all that Steph had the game that he did. He always comes up big when he's needed the most. But it was the competitive spirit of the whole group that really stood out to me.
My one and only time to play in the Olympics and experience this stage, so that was part of my sense of relief and joy. 2004 didn't make it to the gold medal game and get a gold medal. My one, opportunity here. So.
The battle against France was one that the US squad knew would be a difficult challenge.
A lot of people took a sigh of relief, like, we got past Serbia and Nikola Jokic. It's easy selling now. Just watching France. That arena, brother, that arena is going to sound...
But with a team motivated to finish their quest, they would put together one last legendary performance, cementing themselves as one of the greatest FIBA teams ever assembled.
What's a medal?
Although Team USA played well throughout the game, France wouldn't go away quietly, fighting back to make it a tight game down the stretch. On a team full of all-time greats, someone would have to step up to put the game away. A perfect job for the greatest shooter to ever live. In a shooting display that left the world in awe, Curry had once again risen to the occasion when his team needed him most. Through every challenge, every struggle on the court, his resolve had never wavered. And when the final buzzer sounded, Team USA stood atop the podium, once again champions of the world.
Stephen Curry. Do not rely on him to run your team.
He was about 5'6".
Looks like a little kid.
150 pounds soaking wet. That was when I first really understood I'm different.
For Stephen Curry, the Olympic gold medal around his neck represented more than just another achievement. This was his one and only opportunity to perform on the world stage, doing it alongside former teammates and rivals who had defined his career. Together, they had won what many consider the most difficult gold medal in FIBA history.
I just think it's one of those moments that we could put up there at the very top with some of those iconic over the past couple of generations.
And Curry had once again proven what makes him one of the greatest to ever step on the hardwood.
The way he performed to secure the win, to get the gold medal, that's top 5 moments of all time in my eyes.
From revolutionizing basketball to helping Team USA to Olympic glory, Curry's legacy within the game is undeniable.
For someone like Steph, who this was the only thing missing from his resume, to have that moment, I believe it goes at the top of the list of his greatest moments, and I believe it is the most memorable sequence I've seen in basketball in my 50 years watching the sport.
A legend that will forever be etched in the history of the sport.
People could argue on another day what position he will go down as. I still have him as the greatest point guard ever.
And now, Stephen Curry has achieved the final missing accolade for his historic career, and will forever be known as an Olympic gold medalist.
What does Steph Curry mean to you personally as a fan of the game of basketball?
Steph Curry's my favorite player. What he means to me, I think Steph has brought so much joy, I think, to me watching basketball. He's made basketball fun to watch on a daily basis. I'm hardcore fans like you, and I like the fans and everyone watching, and we're going to watch basketball regardless, no matter what. We're going to go on YouTube. We're going to look at highlights. We're going to go anywhere. We're going to find something about basketball. But to me, Steph made basketball so much more fun and enjoyable to watch than any other player in the existence of my life.
If there is somebody in my sporting life who has provided me more unadulterated joy than Steph Curry has, I don't know who it is. And that is true not only on a moment-by-moment basis, that at any second he could do something that makes me genuinely happy, can change my day. He's also done it throughout seasons, throughout years, throughout a career. I think it's his defining feature as a player. He is capable of just adding relentless joy into your life.
Like I say, he's an anomaly. He is, to me, the most unique point guard ever played the game because of the way he plays it. Sometimes I just shake my head in astonishment at some of the stuff that he does. He's remarkable.
Well, I think one of the most exciting parts about Stephen Curry is that we don't know how the story's going to end. The story is not over. While Steph's legacy is already very impressive, and he's going to be known as one of the all-time greats, the difference between him being a 4-time champion and a 5-time champion is profound. He is now, if he wins a 5th title, I think it's safe to say he's the greatest point guard of all time. Right now, you can't confidently say that. Magic is either the best, or at least there's a good debate to be had about that. If Steph wins a 5th championship, he's now, in my opinion, on the Mount Rushmore of all-time greats.
This team has an association and an importance in my life that I can't defend. But I never saw this level of success. Never thought we'd have one championship, let alone 4. I never thought we'd have one all-star, let alone a top 10 player. That came on the back of Steph Curry. So, he has changed so many things, and I think his legacy will reflect that.
I think we're going to look back 15, 20 years from now. Some guy's going to break his record, wherever it is. Some guy's going to shoot 25 threes a game. He's going to make 15 of them. I think we're going to look back and say, this all started with Steph. Like, all this basketball as it is today, this is because of what Steph did and what he started in 2014. This is what happened. This guy, can you believe it, used to shoot pull-up threes with 21 seconds on the shot clock. He used to do that. Yeah, somewhere along the way, he won 4, 5, 6 championships. He's a top 5, top 10 basketball player of all time. He's a great point guard. Is he the best? Maybe. Is he better than Magic? I would argue probably. But all that doesn't really matter, I think. This guy changed and made basketball the way it is. And, maybe basketball changes again 50 years from now. But 10 years ago, 10 years from now, and I think 10 years after that, I think basketball is played the way that Steph Curry plays, and he started it. I think that's his greatest legacy.